The final match of a four-match Sunday in MLS Next Pro brings us to the Pacific Northwest. It is Tacoma Defiance playing host to LAFC 2. It's the 8th meeting between these two clubs in the all-time history. It is Tacoma coming off of 3 consecutive losses. They haven't won a match since July 17th against an LAFC team that has lost 6 of 9 on the road this season. They've only won once on the road. 2 teams that give up a lot of goals. It'll be fascinating to watch how this matchup plays out here tonight. You look at the starting 11 for Mike Morris's group. 5 teenagers in the starting 11, but a Jacob Castro, the 25-year-old from Tacoma, Washington, that gets the nod here tonight. In his 37 career Next Pro starts, 5 clean sheets, but also keep an eye on Yu Sokanome. He leads the team with 12 goals and is tied for second in the category as he chases the Golden Boot this year for the Defiance in MLS Next Pro. Conversely, for LAFC, they have a very young roster. They have 7 teenagers in the starting 11. Their oldest player is Sebastian Nava, who starts up top at 22 years of age, but it is a youthful group. You have the trio of Diaz's in the back line, and it'll be fascinating to see how this group gels together. Junior Gonzalez saying that he wants to watch this team continue to grow up on a game-to-game basis. It's Tacoma and LAFC 2 meeting here in this one. First time that they've met on this pitch since July 20th of last year. Last 3 meetings have all come in Los Angeles. When they met back on June 29th, it was a 3-2 victory for Tacoma. The game winner would come from Danny Robles in the 83rd minute. Tacoma will don the blue kits tonight, the white kits for the youthful side, LAFC 2. So far this weekend, that is starting on Friday, we've seen 6 matches go to penalties, including 2 of the 3 finals so far on this Sunday. Find out how this one plays out. Will we need penalties tonight, or will this be a decisive performance between one of these 2 clubs? Each side sits on 23 points in this match. Both are 6 points out of the playoffs. Tacoma has played the fewest matches in Next Pro for the year. So when you look at this matchup, one of these 2 teams could propel their conclusion of the campaign with 3 points tonight. The other, if they don't get 3 points, they could very well see their hopes start to slip out of their grasp after tonight's match. Michael Watchring and our entire crew with you here in Washington as we watch this matchup from Starfire's Sports Complex. Nearby is the Seattle International Airport. And we'll see if we have some high-flying action here in this matchup. 2 teams that give up a boatload of goals. We'll talk about that as we go through the night here in Tacoma. But for now, we enjoy all the action between 2 teams with extremely talented players, not just on this team, but that have played for this team this year, that have impacted the first team. We'll hear about Georgie Manungu's journey at halftime. You want to stick around for that. It is LAFC in the white kits, Tacoma in the blue kits, and we're ready for action here this evening as the whistle blows to start off the night. LAFC puts the ball in play here first to begin the night. It is the 8th meeting between Tacoma Defiance and LAFC 2 here in match week 22 of MLS Next Pro. Hope you can come in and hang out with us here this evening. Mike Morris took over as the interim head coach on July 23rd. He played for Seattle Pacific in college and has been in this area his entire life after that point, having joined the Sounders in 2009. He talked about wanting to see this group get results. They've missed moments defending. They've had unforced errors that have led to moments in transition. They've given up 48 goals this season. That's the 2nd most in MLS Next Pro. LAFC, conversely, Junior Gonzalez admitted it's been an interesting year because there's a lot of younger players on the team that have been held to higher standards than they had been in years past. But they also have had an issue defending. 41 goals allowed for the year for LAFC. That is the 4th most in the West and the 8th most overall in the league. The only difference between the two, LAFC 2, solid goal-scoring team, but they're toward the upper half of the pack. They're not quite registering in the top 10. Tacoma on the other side, they're third most goals in the league so far this season. And that's what Mike Morris talked about. They can score at such a high clip, such a high level. Can they defend with any level of consistency? That will be the difference ultimately in the end if Tacoma are to return to the postseason. Throw in, bounces off of the foot of Dodzi, and now rolls along the sideline and out of play. Last time Tacoma won at home, it was April 26th. That was in regular season play against St. Louis City 2. That was a 4-1 win. They're winless in their last 6. Granted, 2 of those 6 they ended up winning in penalties, so they did come away with extra points. But 5 points out of their last 6 at home. You know that they want to take care of business on the home pitch in this match, knowing that they head on the road for the next 2 against Portland and Real Monarchs. Along that far sideline, it's an angular ball forward. Stopping and starting is Jude Terry, and he loses possession. Back for the keeper, Castro, who flies it to midfield. Ozzy again knocks it forward. Ponciano rolls it back. Eric Diaz pushes it forward, and it's out. Well, you feel like this match should have goals. Both meetings this year have finished 3-2 finals. One in favor of LAFC, one in favor of Tacoma Defiance. Conroe Walters wins that header, the 20-year-old Panamanian. Stepping in after spending the last year at Plaza Amador. Good nodding ball forward. Hassan loses possession, however, as Moyado and LAFC build out of the back now. LAFC has lost its last 2 matches. They're winless in their last 3 overall. And their last win came July 13th, so both of these 2 sides starving for a victory in regulation. Good touch. Brought in by Walters. Now Ponciano rolls it back. Very young back line. When you look at the Diaz boys, all 3 of them, and Ponciano, all 4 are teenagers starting tonight. This ball rolls up top. Evans tries to find space, cuts it across. Walters steps, bobbles, and gives it away. But Tacoma cannot hold on to it long enough to be able to get out of the pack with it. Right-hand side. LAFC flexing its early muscle in this one. They've had 11 different goal scorers this season, and they've scored in 7 in a row against a Tacoma team tonight that has not registered a clean sheet all year. They've given up goals in 24 consecutive matches in all competitions. Will tonight be the night that they pitch a clean sheet? Sousa knocks that out, the 23-year-old from Lathrop, California, who began his career with the Oakland Roots in the USL Championship before sliding over to Next Pro in its inception season of 2022. Pressure being applied by Soganoe. Coming back to defend, Sebastian Gomez. Eric Diaz over for Ponciano. Walters slides it along. Speaking with Junior Gonzalez, he said, in terms of our attacking actions, we're doing exactly what we want. And that's what you're watching here in the first 6 minutes. They're getting to good locations. They're possessing the ball. But the sign of a really young team, he admitted, is at times you don't have that finishing touch. Surging here is Evans, and it's a fruitful defensive play right there from Kaido Yamada. had to be there in the right place. Otherwise, Matt Evans had a chance to make it 6 goals for the season. And this time, Evans is knocked down. But back to that point, he said he loves what they're doing in the attack. The problem has been is that they just have not been able to finish at a consistent level. He talked about their match against the Town last week, where he felt like they could have been up 3-0 after the opening several minutes in that match, but they couldn't, and they would eventually fall to the Town. First free kick of the match. The former MLS Next U17 MVP, Brian Moyano, slices this ball in, and it just misses the first head that had a chance to get there. Instead, it's Lopez that carries it out for Tacoma. That was a really good ball, but rising at that last second, avoided a teammate. Terry. LAFC strong here early. Backpedaling is Ponciano. Yamada. Not happy with himself that time around. Ponciano again to throw, just 16 years of age. One of the younger men on the pitch tonight. Christian Diaz. Eric Diaz. 3 Diaz's in the back line. They play next to each other, right back and the 2 central backs for LAFC. And Junior Gonzalez said there's going to be a lot of first names on the broadcast, right? Trying to determine who's who as we go throughout the evening. You have Eric, Christian, and Carlos all across the back. None of them are related. That pass goes out of play, and Tacoma trying to get back into this game. And you look at a Defiance team that got off to a nice start this season. 5 wins in their first 7, sat on 15 points, and were 3rd place in the West. However, just 1 win in their last 11. Walters wallops off of the defender. Ponciano gets to the second ball. Ponciano gets the angle, keeps his balance, pounds it across, and it's an own goal. Antino Lopez trying to clear it off of the line, but Ponciano pounds it in. And Tacoma unable to clear, and LAFC have the opening goal to lead 1-0. Well, it all starts with this action from Ponciano, and it's just very unlucky. Antino Lopez, own goal. And that's one where, as a defender, you're put in a very difficult position because you want to cross it, but you're in a spot where you don't know what's happening behind you. There was some pressure back there, and Lopez just mishits it, and it's an own goal. So that starts the scoring in this one. Make it 25 consecutive games in which Tacoma have conceded a goal. Their last clean sheet was last October in the opening round of the MLS Next Pro playoffs. How will Tacoma respond? Kingston loses possession. Evans gathers. Walters. Too much on that pass. Rolls back to Castro. Well, this plays right into what Mike Morris was talking about. He said that we've been vulnerable defensively all season long because they have had to rotate younger players. They've had injuries. But here's a break now for the Defiance. Inside of the 18, trying to find space. And in the end, it's a penalty. How about that? What a response it is from the Defiance. A chance to equalize after drawing the penalty. Edson Carley is the man that draws it against the defensive work of Christian Diaz. So Tacoma now have a chance to find the scoreboard and start this one off. And they turn to one of the league's best goal scorers, Yusuke Nome. He hasn't scored this month. Last time he scored was July 27. Tied for second in Next Pro with 12 goals, and now has a chance at the spot to try to tie this score up. It comes against Cabral Carter. Sokonome smashes, diving in the right place to stop it is Carter. LAFC clear. And how about the stop? The left paw of the 21-year-old Cabral Carter. Mark that one down as a big moment in this match. Throw in, over the top, nodded away and cleared out. Carter played 3 seasons at the University of Pittsburgh. Has that collegiate experience and now next pro as well. As the break is on in the other direction, Walters rolls it forward. Evans was looking to cross. This time it's Lopez diving in, sacrificing his body to ensure that that ball gets swept away. Well, end to end and back and forth we go. What a start this one is to this matchup after both teams go through that feeling out process. Our first corner of the night comes from this near corner flag. And our officials taking a look at the location of that ball and pointing out that she wants it to be moved over just a little bit. And now we're ready for this corner kick. Here goes this cross back post. Headed back to where it started, but brought in by Eric Diaz. Moyado curls, waiting for the second ball. It's Terry. Flipping it high and then sent back out towards midfield. The foot race here for Hassan. Hassan chases after it. Carter's outside of his 18, and he just clears it away. That is excellent pressure there from Omar Hassan, the 16-year-old Seattle native. Those are the moments that you want to be able to see when your team is giving up a lot of goals, as the Defiance have. See this from LAFC, confident early. Over the top it goes. Yamada gets there first, rolls it back. Castro decides to play it to Yamada. Slices it towards midfield. Hassan tries to get the angle. Ponciano gets there first and rolls it out. So much of the conversations that both coaches were talking about is the overall developmental pieces. That mentality side of the game. You have a Tacoma team that is really scuffled of late. They've gone through the coaching change. They've seen players get called up, make those high-level impacts at the top levels of MLS and Leagues Cup here lately. We'll talk about that as we go through the night. Hassan dribbles past Walters, but he recovers. 2 defenders over there. Hassan recovers. There's that pathway, but in the end, part of the way that these coaches phrase it is, hey, if you're going to play here, you have to think about who are the first team players that you're going to be playing these balls for. That's a good run. Staying onside here is Wabowo. He gets the first shot stopped, but the second one will not be denied. Adrian Wibowo scores to make it 2 for LAFC here in the opening 15 minutes. Such a good run from Wibowo. And it's Terry that sets him up from the midfield, leading the team with 5 assists, and Wibowo finishes. The first play was shut down. Adrian would not be stopped on the second chance. The 18-year-old has his 4th goal of the season and first since June 1st. And LAFC are off and flying in this one. Well, that is an 8th consecutive game in which Tacoma has given up multiple goals. And it comes just 16 minutes into this one. And this is not the recipe whatsoever that Mike Morris was expecting to have. Good header. Hassan gets there in time to keep it in play. Excellent hustle. Hassan curls it around just past the foot of Dodzi. And it rolls back out over to this corner. That was so close. It was such a clever ball by Hassan. And those two linking up nearly found one back. That ball goes out of play, so it goes for a throw for Tacoma. This portion of the match brought to you by your locally owned and operated McDonald's. Download the McDonald's app today, and when the Sounders win, you will win a free McChicken the following day with a minimum $2 purchase, only in the app. Ball bounces off of one man and then gets taken away on the intended pass for Evans. But once again, LAFC are there to rescue another ball. Moyano loses it. Hassan runs, but he would have been offside even if that ball had gotten to him. Was he able to get back onside? It looks like yes on that long pass. And Hassan now has to recycle things. Flag is up here for offside. Just leaking in behind the defense there was Sebastian Gomez. Kick for LAFC. Good initial touch, but Lopez is back there to recover it and plays it forward for Sousa. Tacoma will need an elite comeback tonight. LAFC looking the part here today. And just how important this match was. Two teams that entered on 23 points. Whichever team gets 3 points, assuming that one does and we don't need penalties, that's a huge differential because right now, LAFC have jumped into the number 10 position on the table. 3 points out of a playoff spot, but only Vancouver and Minnesota United sit in front of them instead of where they had it entering the night where 5 teams were directly in front of their position. And they'll play Vancouver at home in a couple weeks. Perhaps with a chance to displace them on the table. Moyano. Hassan unlocks. He's been dynamic on this right side. Hassan goes 1v1, draws a second defender, tries to find space, brings it back, and ultimately it gets swept back out to midfield. Baker restarts the action now for Tacoma. Hassan is offside as the flag does go up there. Tacoma, the first team in Next Pro this season to give up 50 goals for the year. They've given up the most in the league. And here in the 20th minute, that is where we sit. Goals again. It's the 12th time in the last 14 matches in which Tacoma have given up at least 2. They have 2 6-4 losses in their last 3. And they have an own goal in the 9th minute and a Wibowo goal in the 16th minute, giving them a 2-0 deficit here on the home pitch today in match week 22. Evans juggles. Hassan is back to get there. Castro, under a great deal of duress, is able to get it over the top of Hassan, but it rolls out. Look at the Western Conference so far this weekend. St. Louis City very much in control. 48 points. They have 11 more than anybody else, but they required penalty kicks earlier tonight to get past Colorado Rapids. 5-4 on penalties to get the bonus point. Ventura County also getting the bonus point yesterday. They sit in second place. The Town are in third right now in the Western Conference table. Walters is offside. The Town beating Vancouver 2-1. So the Town did both of these teams a favor by taking out Vancouver. Sporting Kansas City, all but out of it. 11 points. 12 behind Tacoma right now at the bottom of the Western Conference table. And the Defiance need a result here. They need to get off the schneid. Long ball across the pitch. Harley tracks it down. This ball gets rolled into the middle of the field. All the way across, and right there waiting for it is Doddsey as he dunks it into the net. Tacoma respond here in the 23rd minute and slice the margin in half at 2-1. How about Doddsey again crashing? It's that far left side. Sebastian Gomez picking the ball up, crossing it, and Doddsey is unmarked there in the middle of the field. Well, this is what we expected. Two teams that give up a bunch of goals this year. And it's 2-1 now, 23 minutes in. Remember, we had a penalty kick saved in the 12th minute as well. Is the score. And is that the start of the comeback for the Defiance? We thought this might be a track meet. Certainly the way that Tacoma have played, that would absolutely be the case. 3 might not even be enough tonight. Ponciano, Walters. Walters tries to cross. Hassan intervenes. And he recycles this. Well, those are the moments that Mike Morris discussed. He said there's core anchors to this year's group. It spells out TAC, T-A-C. Togetherness, adversity, communication. He said that the guys do feel a little bit low on confidence right now. There can be a burden on this team, but he said that he has to stress, give them a chance to have that confidence restored. Can they break the momentum that is happening right now during their season? Can they go through this adversity and come away with points? Because in the end, if you're going to be a professional, if you're going to play at the highest of levels around the world, a foul whistled here, Doddsey taken out. You're going to have moments like these. You're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have tough times. It's a yellow card here as well. How about that? That one goes on Christian Diaz, our first booking of the night. Almost looked like it was incidental contact. Certainly a foul. Not sure if it warranted a yellow card or not. At least that's not what LAFC will believe. But Doddsey was in a good spot. But ultimately, coaches are looking for the response. And that's what this group is trying to do right now, trying to find that rebuttal. They've trailed 2-0. They had a penalty kick saved when they could have equalized in the 12th minute. And now they're searching for this equalizer on this set piece. Right-footed in-swinging ball in. It skims one head, finds Lopez, who can't keep it in play. This portion of the match is brought to you by Providence Swedish, official healthcare partner of Seattle Sounders FC. Good turn. Carly twirls. Lays it off. It's Gomez. Plenty of choices to make here. Gomez brings it back. Gomez lays it up top. That's Kingston. Baker nearly threaded the needle past defenders. Can they get this switch all the way on? Hassan is wide open on this side. Gomez tries to funnel and ultimately does find Carly. Carly hooks it. It is Hassan waiting. Dodsey steps in front, however, and blasts it onto the training pitch back behind this facility. Well, Junior Gonzalez admitted on his side, collective defending is their biggest area of improvement right now that needs to happen for this team to finish the year out strong. Yes, they've given up a goal. They've given up a penalty kick as well that Carter stopped. But can they find that level of consistency starting in this match for this very youthful side? Good touches here. Sokanome. Dodsey just cannot quite slow it down, and Moyato clears it over. Webowo. Terry. Back for Cabral Carter. Past Ponciano. He didn't even give it a shot. Instead, Dodsey chips it too far past Hassan. Well, Lake Columbus's road record of now 0-8-2 is worse than the LAFC road record. They sit at 1-6-2 entering the ninth. Their only road win was May 23rd at Sporting KC. They won that match 3-0. This ball crosses in. It takes a deflection just before it reached Evans, and it's back for Castro. Going on right now, and they're into the knockout stage of Leagues Cup. Both coaches talked about how important Leagues Cup were for each of these two sides. For LAFC, it was Eric and Christian Diaz both being rostered. During that group stage, Cabral Carter was the third goalkeeper during the Leagues Cup period. And in the end, he said, that's a great opportunity for these guys to see it at the highest of levels, understanding that there are developmental options there to get to the top. Kenny Nielsen, who started the season with LAFC, getting minutes now with the first team. Put a pin in that as Nava lays it back. Terry, Moyato. Moyato has some space here. Terry now retreats all the way back. Nava clears this one around. Cross off of Lopez's head. Dodsey, the only man down there. Conversely, if you look at Seattle, they were the best team during the group stage. They won all three matches by a goal differential of +9. They outscored everybody 11-2. They had the most points, best goal differential of any team, and they'll get a quarterfinal date with Puebla on August 20th, 10 days from now. Walters dashes past the first, accelerates to the touchline, and Baker steps in front to push it out. Just past the half-hour mark in this one. Two teams that entered tied for 12th in the West, but could move up to 10th and 3 points out of a playoff spot with a victory tonight. An own goal put LAFC in front in the 9th minute. Cabral Carter saved a penalty in the 12th. Webowo scored in the 16th to make it 2-0. But Dodsey got one back in the 23rd. This corner across. Headed out, but only as far as the right-hand side where Carlos Diaz winds it back. Terry crushes. It's a good save from Castro. Smothers it enough to keep it in front of him. Michael Watring and her team with you here in Washington, watching the final match of a 4-match Sunday in MLS Next Pro. Good to have you on board with us today. But when you look at Tacoma finishing up on the Leagues Cup conversation, Osase de Rosario, 3 goals in his last 4 appearances, twice in Leagues Cup action. Dodzy chases, but Carter is out to sprawl out on top of it. De Rosario scored against Cruz Azul and Tijuana. He also scored in MLS's regular season what looked to be a game winner at Atlanta United in the 95th minute after coming on very late as a sub. Seattle grows their hometown players as well as anybody. And their homegrowns continue to make that impact. Sousa gets there first. Castro very close to his net. Sokanome, good ball. Hassan right back to one of the league's best goal scorers. He hurls this ball across. Carly waits for it, juggles the first. Gomez dodges the opening man. Gomez tries to find some space, leaves it behind. It is Kingston laying it back. Sousa, Carly, Sousa once more. He gets taken out, it rolls out, and it will be a corner. This portion of the match is brought to you by Puyallup, tribe of Indians, a tribe known for being generous and welcoming to all people. Peter Kingston, 6 assists on the year. Tied for 3rd in the league. Swings it across over the head of the keeper and just beyond the reach of Kaito Yamada. Such a juicy ball. I think Yamada just lost track of it. At the very least, that's what Carter did, was shield that ball away from the line of sight of Yamada, chasing it on the back post. Some scores from today. Huntsville beats Carolina 3-2. That puts Huntsville now 4 points off of the first place spot, with Red Bulls and Philly Union hunting them down. St. Louis, I mentioned, the penalty kick victor over Colorado Rapids. And New England gets the extra point despite a late surge from Columbus Crew, winning 5-4 in penalties. Much needed extra point as they sit in 5th in the East. Gomez dashes in. Gomez hits it off of the leg of Christian Diaz and out for another corner here for Tacoma. Much credit goes to the Defiance for their response after falling behind 2-0 in this match. And Peter Kingston back to take this, playing in his hometown. And the former Washington Husky slingshots this ball to that front post. It takes a couple juggles. Dodzy is there. A first half brace for the Ghana native. Equalizes here in the 36th at 2 apiece. That ball took a couple bounces on its way through. And Dodzy, again, the benefactor. His 2 goals are from less than 6 yards away combined. Right on the doorstep. And we're 2-2 before halftime. Dodzy came in with just 1 goal this season. That was April 23rd. And he has his first brace. How does LAFC respond now? Seemingly in control for a wide range of time in this game. And how much bigger is that Cabral Carter penalty kick stop in the 12th minute? Less than 10 minutes to go in the first half. Multiple goals for each side now in this game, and that's what Tacoma's calling card has been. What the problem has been, they've lost 5 times this year when they scored multiple goals. They've now scored in 11 in a row. They've only been shut out 1 time this year. And we expect much more of this as we go through the rest of the night here in Washington. Sousa. Dodzi holds for a moment, but not long enough. Kingston commits the foul against Evans. Moyano puts it back in play. Well, FC are a physical team. They have 5 red cards this year. No other team in the league has more than 2. So they've been putting themselves in bad positions throughout the year as well. That's certainly cost them points. Eric Diaz to Walters. Walters sprints through the middle. A giveaway, however. Dodzi touches it forward. Hassan with quite the spin move, but can't take the ball with him. Evans. LAFC make this push to regain the advantage that they had. Hassan juggles and now breaks away from that first defender, but not the second. There will be a foul, however, called back. Eric Diaz was the one that stepped over. But the foul gets called back here on the Tacoma half of the pitch. Well, the last time that these two teams played here, July 20th of last year, it was a 4-4 final, and we go to penalties. Required 10 rounds before it ended last season. Are we on track for something similar? 5 more minutes to go in the first half, 2 apiece. LAFC the first 2 goals in the opening 16 minutes, and then during a 13-minute stretch, Tacoma gets 2 back after they had a penalty kick saved early. And here they go again in the attack. That's a delightful pass forward. Dodzi was waiting for it as Sousa had found space in behind. Gomez back on it. Gomez crosses, hits the first man. Sousa pokes, but the flag up for offside. Puts an end to another great surge from this Tacoma attack. Only Chicago and New York Red Bulls have scored more than Tacoma's now 47 for the season. emphasize enough how well Tacoma have played in the last 20 minutes of this first half after conceding a second goal and watching a penalty kick get saved. The response has been terrific. Walters leaves it forward. It's Evans. Uses his body to shield Yamada. Moyato. Eric Diaz. Christian Diaz. And completing the ensemble, Carlos Diaz. Gives it away. It's a lone show in MLS Next Pro right now. 2 more matches to come tomorrow. Red Bulls host Philly Union, and FC Cincinnati playing host to Crown Legacy. Baker. Evans nearly gave it right back, but it rolls for Moyato. Ponciano. Walters. Nava. Ends up all the way across the field. Wibowo across. Castro right there to clutch. Stick around at halftime. We'll have a chat with Brett Utley, Austin FC 2's head coach, as well as hear about the story of Seattle's Georgie Munungu. Hassan unleashes, keeps the ball in play, and its last touch defensively by Eric Diaz. Cody Baker with 32 appearances with the first team, throws this in. Dodzy skims it along. Dodzy waits, tries to find space. And in the end, it's Sokonome that hits it off of a defender and out for a corner. How about this work, though, by the 24-year-old Japanese forward who scored in 3 of his last 5 matches. Tied at 2 apiece. Tacoma have never led. Might that change on this corner? It's a low roller, touched all the way back. Hassan measures, Hassan hammers. Locked away, and then Hassan draws the foul. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half, and it's a really good look at a free kick here for Tacoma to try to take the advantage. So let's see this free kick. Who's going to be the man in control? Sokonome or Carly? It's Kingston. Kingston crushes! I think we had a foul before any of that in the end, but Carter made the save nevertheless. He started in that right-hand side of his pipes. Cheated just a little bit over there and read it really well. That was a well-taken ball from Kingston. And it might be the final good chance for either side here before halftime in what has been an absolute thriller, much as we expected it might be tonight. Two teams that give up a bunch of goals. Two of the top three teams in goals conceded this year have each given up two so far in this matchup. Dodsey chases, and it gets cleared. Back out to midfield, and might that be the first half whistle? Indeed it will. So 45 minutes down in this one, and the opening 45 minutes featured everything that you could want. 2 goals from each side, a penalty kick save, and through 45 minutes here in Washington, it is Tacoma 2 and LAFC 2 here in MLS Next Pro. Since we were in Austin for the All-Star festivities, our April Marie Aguilar got a chance to visit with Austin FC2 head coach Brett Utley in this edition of Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Marie Aguilar, here with Austin FC2's head coach, Brett Utley. Thanks so much for the time, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
You've been with this team from the very beginning. What's it like to just see Austin FC2 grow?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, starting it from the beginning back in 2023. We've certainly had a lot of highs, a lot of learning experiences as well. Seeing players come through the pipeline has been really exciting, and also growing as a staff as well. We've had a lot of different coaches and different performance coaches and other staff throughout our time together, and it's just been a great environment.
What sparked your interest to join a new franchise in Austin?
Yeah, it was just an opportunity. I always had an urge to grow as a head coach. I've lived a lot of different experiences as an assistant coach in various roles at different clubs throughout my career thus far, and I just really wanted to take a step and try it as a head coach. And it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learning experiences, and I just really enjoyed the experience thus far.
And I mean, in that inaugural season, you all won the MLS Next Pro Cup. What's a memory from that time that most resonates with you?
Yeah, I think the whole season as a whole is my first year as a head coach at this level. Watching players come through, at that moment, Micah Burton was one of the younger guys coming through the academy that was playing with us, which was exciting to see him play. CJ Fodry we drafted and making his MLS debuts. Yeah, just the way the team came together throughout the course of the season. The playoff run was a lot of fun. We had 4 road games as well, which certainly wasn't easy, but yeah, the team just kept growing together as one, and it was really exciting.
And I can't even imagine, what were you thinking once you got your hands on that cup?
Yeah, it was just a lot of hard work. There was so much work going on behind the scenes with everybody from the staff that helped build the team, to the coaching staff, to the performance staff, to the medical staff, to the players. It was seeing it all come together at the end, it was so rewarding.
And it takes a village. And while I was preparing for this conversation with you today, I was reading something about you, and it wasn't necessarily what you do on the field, but it's what you do off of it. And it's hosting these events for your players and the entire staff. Yeah. What types of events are you hosting?
Yeah, we've done a few this year. We went to Butler Pitch and Putt down in Austin, which is a lot of fun. I would say a lot of the players are better soccer players than golfers. But yeah, just events like that. We've had barbecues together. We've gone to pitch and putt. In the past, we've done bowling events. Just a variety of different things just to get the guys together and sharing some time together away from the field and understanding who they are as people, away from just being a soccer player. And I think that's really important. Guys come into our space with all different backgrounds from different cultures, and the more we can get to know each other at a deeper level, I think that is certainly beneficial for us on the field as well.
That was going to lead me to my next question, how valuable is that, quality time with them in order to help them find success on the field?
Yeah, it is, because you just see a different side to the human being rather than just what you're wearing, in your Austin FC clothes every single day. And then you can just see different sides, with guys if they're running the barbecue grill and seeing how they're doing there, and just different conversations that you can have as people is something that I certainly value, and it's certainly helpful for these young guys.
And even as you nurture those relationships, do you feel like that just also helps you in your coaching style because you know how to approach certain players in certain ways?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the second team space ultimately is a bridge between, you know, the academy and the first team. So it's a blend of three environments. So we want to try to create a team culture, a collective. In order to do that, you have to know the human being in front of you and how you have to help, let's say, an 18-year-old coming from the U18s to stepping in our environment for the first time, or a first-team player coming down to play with us is going to be slightly different. And if you know the individual, it's going to be much easier to have those conversations.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time. We'll be rooting for you this season. And thank you so much for you all for tuning into this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be speaking to next. We'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at MLSsoccer.com/summer.
The youngest MLS debutant, Kevin Sullivan.
Luna.
Yes! That is a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
We welcome you back here to Washington, where it is Tacoma Defiance and LAFC locked into a good one. Tied at 2 at the half. The best stories of MLS Next Pro are players achieving their dreams to move up to the MLS. Let's hear one of those stories with a visit from Seattle's Georgie Manungu.
Manungu, numbers for Seattle, looking to put this one to bed. Manungu! This one's in bed, and Georgie Manungu puts it there.
Manungu again running at Yaboa, again stepping over, byline, Manungu!
Georgie Manungu is as unpredictable as any player I've seen play for Seattle in MLS history.
Come from a Christian family, you know. My mom raised me with love and a lot of smile, and like she gave me like all like good education, like always happy whatever is coming, you know. So like I feel like me, I can play without joy, you know. As soon as I play like with no joy, I'm not happy. And I'm trying to, you know, to enjoy what I'm doing and like always be like normal, natural, you know. So that's me, you know, smile, you know, that's the thing.
For a long time, nobody in Seattle knew the name Georgie Manungu. But in a small village near the western edge of Ivory Coast, the game was already shaping him.
There was no rule, there was no restriction. We play like 9v1, you know, you have the ball and you have to, like 9 defenders against you, and then you have to dribble all of them to go score, you know. That's how I grew up.
He played in the street, sometimes with a ball made of plastic bags. There were no coaches, no tactics, just a game, and a joy that never left him.
It was fun. We played like on the street, you know, the ball wasn't like a real ball. It was a very good time, you know. I enjoyed those times, and every time I go back home, I have to play against my friend, yeah.
When he came to the US, he still had a lot to learn. He studied tape, asked questions, learned where to be and why.
Before training, I went in their office because I didn't really know like about the positioning, the tactical stuff, you know, but they helped me every time. They helped me grow. Like I saw like how I improve a lot, you know, and my level like goes to the next level, you know, because they've been there since the first that they saw the potential in me, and they decided to help me. They really did the job, you know. So I really appreciate that, and like that's why I'm in the MLS level now, yeah.
Early in 2023, he was close to signing with the Sounders' first team. Then, without warning, his life changed drastically.
Like I did a great preseason, even score. Like I was so good in preseason, and we came back, you know, training, and then stuff like that happened. You know, it was like all my world like goes down. Like I didn't really know, like, was like, bro, what's really going on? I'm about to live my dream, and then like this stuff happened, you know. But like, you know, I'm a son of God. Whatever happened, you know, is God will decide, you know. And I decided to fight and not let this thing affect me, you know. The doctor was saying like, no, maybe it's not possible that you might play one day, but I was like, no, I'm gonna fight through. I'm gonna play even if I have one eye. I'm gonna be the best. Everybody's gonna say, oh, this kid has one eye, but he's even better than those who has two eyes. And that's my mindset now, you know. No matter where I go, no matter how defender is good, or like I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the best winger in this league, and that's my mindset. That's how I get to the first team.
Then another blow. His father passed away.
My family didn't want me like to be. They know that this thing affects me, you know, and they didn't want me to go back to my country, and then like I'll be so much affected that when I came back, you know, my game will not be the same, you know. And that moment I just signed with the first team, so that was the moment to help the team. So I talked to my mom. She was like, Georgie, I know you want to come, but for me, I think like the good thing for you to do is to stay and help your team, you know. And I know your dad will tell me, if he was there, he would say the same thing, you know, because my dad like will never want me to leave training or something like that to just go do other thing, you know, because he's been helping me a lot since I used to be a kid to just keep training and stuff like that, you know. So like I listened to my family, and then I decided to stay and then play for my dad. And then after, at the end of the year, I went back to see everything, and yeah, that wasn't easy, you know, playing with knowing that your dad passed away and you can't even go over there, like just seeing for last one time, you know, it's very tough. But I decided to play for the team because I love the team, and yeah, that's the more important thing. I have a lot of people here supporting me, so that was huge.
Right towards the spot, that one's side goal, and touched in by Maningo.
Ball come on me, I just put it in, you know. And in that moment, I was thinking about my dad, you know, because my dad passed away the day before. So the coach even asked me, Georgie, are you sure like you can play? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. So, you know, scoring that goal, and then like I was crying even at the end, you know, everybody come to support me, but that was a good moment for me. And I even, you know, put my hand on sky, you know, to say, yeah, Dad, I know you over there, but, you know, like I'm playing for you now. And that was a good moment, you know, and thanks God for everything, you know, and that was one of the best moments of my life, yeah.
He's proven he belongs. Now, he wants more.
I'm always fighting, but my goal is like, you know, to be the best in my position, try to score goal, assist, and try to help the team win trophy, you know. We never know like how it's gonna end, you know, but everybody's dream is to play like, you know, maybe one day in Europe, Champions League, something like that, you know. You never know, that's my dream too, you know, but now I want to help the team, you know, the same way the team helped me too.
He's not just here for himself. His journey is a message.
Whatever you want in your life, go find it, go get it. Because if you don't do it, maybe in the future, one day you're gonna regret it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I could, maybe no. In my mind, there is no maybe. Either I find a way to do that, or either like I create myself a way to do that. So that's my mindset.
Action.
Almost ready for the second half of play here in Washington, where the score is tied at 2 apiece between Tacoma and LAFC as we look back at the highlights from this match so far. And it was Amir Ponciano driving to the touchline, beating Hassan, keeping his balance, pushing this across, And Antino Lopez just could not get it over the crossbar. Own goal starts our action tonight in the 9th minute. And then a few minutes later, a penalty. Carly draws it against Christian, and that sets up one of the league's leading goal scorers. Sokanome gets stopped by Cabral Carter on the penalty kick, and that keeps it 1-0. And then Wibowo finds space after a delightful pass from Terry. Sousa gets the first deflection, but Wibowo finishes in the 16th minute, and LAFC were flying. But the response would come from Tacoma in the 23rd minute. A driving moment here from Gomez, tossing it around. It is Sousa across, finding Dodzi as he pushes it into the net, and that makes it 2-1. 36th minute, off of this corner, trickles in again, and who else would it be? Dodzi once more, finishing the second goal of the match and tying the score at 2 apiece, and that's where we sit right now at 2-2 at halftime between Tacoma and LAFC in this matchup. And as we close in on the start of the second half of play, we take a look at the schedule upcoming. Mentioned tomorrow's matches in the Eastern Conference. There's one Thursday with Inter Miami and Huntsville, and then a jam-packed Friday. Some of the games that we'll be keeping our eyes on: Chicago and Philadelphia, the league's leading goal-scoring team against who could perhaps be the top team in the East in Philadelphia. But Tacoma gets a trip to Minnesota. That could be a game that could push Tacoma up over the top of Minnesota United 2 and into a postseason position. And then on Saturday, you have Carolina, Corn, Chattanooga, and then North Texas and St. Louis City 2. And St. Louis City 2 pulling away from the rest of the teams in the West as it sits right now. So as we get ready for the start of this second half of play, it looks like we'll have one change for LAFC at halftime. They'll make the substitution before we start off this second half. And a very young side for Junior Gonzalez. We'll add some fresh blood on the pitch here for the start of half number 2. Both these teams playing without elite talented goal scorers. Tommy Mahalik has been called up to the first team, playing consistent minutes there. Tacoma Defiance, meanwhile, Osase De Rosario has earned his positioning there, as well as Snyder Brunel. So a sub aside, Tacoma brings in Demian Alvarez, replacing Antino Lopez as the second half starts here in Washington, tied at 2 apiece. Michael Watring and the rest of our team guiding you to the finish line of this one. Hope you can come in and hang out with us here in the second half of play. So one change per side in this one. The other one, LAFC brings Wibowo out, and James Lane, the 17-year-old, comes in. Lopez trying to get those minutes back, as is Wibowo. And Junior Gonzalez talked about that there are certain players that just need minutes trying to get back into their first-team form. And sometimes they're on that first-team bench and they're just not getting the required work that they need. And that's one of the benefits of having MLS Next Pro, to give those players chances to be able to play more frequently when they're not getting those consistent minutes with the first team. Well, the first half in the opening 5 to 6 minutes was pretty slow going. It took some time to get into the match, as you see a foul on Carlos Diaz. But once we got into the match, once these two teams got settled and figured out the way that this match was going to be played, they found their way. Junior Gonzalez talked about how his team has had really great performances this year. Has been blown away by some of the games that they've had. They've just been unable to keep leads, or they've kept it too tight for too long, and that has been the case tonight. They led 2-0 through 16 minutes. They let that evaporate, and now level terms. Sokanome lays it off to the right side. It's Hassan. Brings it back. Sokanome out of the reach of Baker, and out for a goal kick. Well, this was a Tacoma team that, as I mentioned, not just did they get off to a good start in league play with 5 wins in their first 7 matches, They also were the lone Next Pro team to reach the round of 32 of the U.S. Open Cup, and they had Portland Timbers on the ropes in that game. If not for a couple late goals, they could have went to the round of 16. Kevin Kelsey had the game winner in the 94th minute for the Timbers. Across this ball goes, waiting for it to bring it down is Nava. Evans. Ponciano. Nava pops out. Ponciano. Terry. Or Moyato, rather. And that was something that he was extremely happy about. This facility had a good deal of fans there. Game that they controlled. But in the end, just couldn't finish it off. Both of these sides have dealt with injuries, have dealt with bringing in young players. Tacoma in particular, Antino Lopez starting tonight, but limited in his minutes, only playing the 45 in the first half. Stuart Hawkins is returning from injury. Leo Burney has been out for a long time. Needing to find consistency in the center back position is one of the keys for Tacoma down the stretch. And you can say the same for LAFC. A driving run here into the 18-yard box. Baker runs him off. It's a goal kick. That's all in the end. This is the proving ground for a lot of these players. In the history of the league, 185 have signed first-team contracts. This year there have been 49 debuts of MLS Next Pro players into MLS. Each team splitting the point. No movement in the West. Just shrinks the margin down to 5. As of right now, it's a long shot to think about 5th place with each of these two teams sitting on 24 as it sits. But 5th place is 32 points. 8th place is 29, where Minnesota United is. Good intervention there by Alvarez, who just came on. The pass, able to work it over here to Gomez. That's why these two teams very much thinking about 3 points tonight. A full complement of points pushes one of the two sides up into 10th. And with how these two teams have action against Vancouver and Minnesota, LAFC and Tacoma respectively, coming up, the two teams that would be directly above them, one of these two teams could find themselves perhaps in the 8th slot in just the next couple weeks with some good results. But two sides that are scuffling. Tacoma just one win in its last 11. LAFC just one regulation road win all year. Good touch here, but way too much on that from Soganoe. Otherwise, Hassan would have been able to showcase his afterburners. Good play. Gomez takes over. Gomez slings it across. Doesn't find its intended target. Walters back to get it. Gomez pressures once more. That ball flies into the sky. Nobody attacks the ball, however, as Moyato comes out of there with it. Evans calls for it. Evans keeps his run up against Hassan. Moyato. Terry. Ponciano. Christian Diaz over to Carlos. Walters. Moyato. And his sights set on Lane. Instead, it's Hassan that comes out of there with it. Sokonome. Gomez coming off of a hat trick last week. Baker can't slow. Walters takes over. There's a flood of LAFC players forward here. Terry to Nava. Nava goes out wide. Yamada meets him. Yamada cannot get back in time after the deflection. LAFC get a corner. Brian Moyato, U.S. Youth International, has this corner kick. Moyato muscles. Yamada gets there first, and then the volley attempt from Carlos Diaz. Always rising. Diaz waited for it. He drove this ball. Just couldn't keep it down. Castro to restart. This build now for Tacoma. They've never led in this game. Thing that Junior Gonzalez and I spoke with this week is that there has to be an understanding, not just within the group, but within the coaching staff and within the organization, that sometimes there can be development without the results. Last year, it was both. They were able to get the results. They were able to get the development. This year, they made changes. They had some of the more established players that they had to make that hard decision on. Tacoma making a mess of this. Walters nearly picked that ball up. And finally to the sideline it goes. Sousa keeps it in play. Sousa cannot get it out of there. A foul is really the only thing that was going to help Tacoma in that situation. And every coach in Next Pro is going to admit that. They're going to say they want to be able to have results. They want to be able to have development. But sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Sometimes, for whatever reasons, the results just aren't there. It's bad breaks. It's injuries. It's the inconsistencies with the roster, the relationships you're trying to build. And you really do have to keep focused on individual development, as well as finding that collective feature to the game. Because in the end, this is 11 men on the field that you have to be in sync with. One man will not do every job. And as you go through your career, at whatever level you're at, you're going to play with a variety of players and a variety of profiles. And Junior Gonzalez wants to see this team find that behavior down the stretch of this season. Hopefully the results will come for LAFC that will lead them into the postseason.
The final score was 4-0. Seattle Sounders with the win. And the Defiance player.
They just announced that the Sounders beat LA Galaxy. That game ending just moments ago, and they just mentioned as well that Snyder Brunel, who played nearly 3,500 minutes in MLS Next Pro, has his first ever MLS goal. 85th minute goal to cap a Sounders 4-0 win against the Galaxy. So congratulations to Snyder Brunel, a friend of a lot of these players. Grew up in this system and makes that impact with the first side. Now Tacoma trying to win on this field tonight. Terry waits for it. Yamada, patient, able to get it out for Hassan. There's runners here in the middle. Gomez was waiting for it. Instead, it rolls to the sideline, and Sousa curls it in. One head, a bobble. Hassan brings it in, leaves it back. Kingston crushes. Cabral. Carter is there to deny. A lot of the subs, actually all the subs that Seattle used tonight were former Next Pro players. Snyder Brunel, Danny Leva, Kalana Kosa Rienzi, Georgie Manungu, who we heard from at halftime on his story, and Osase de Rosario, all coming in that game against the Galaxy earlier today. Finishing 4-0 for the Sounders. Gomez drifts, draws the defenders. Gomez tries to get to the touchline instead. Watches it go out, and it rolls for a corner kick. Hassan rolls it back. Carly curls. Carter punches out. Is there room here for LAFC to punish in transition? Tacoma do well to get back behind the ball. Tacoma preparing a couple changes. Looks like Charlie Gaffney and Jackson Corey. Hassan tries to get the edge. Hassan unable to get there first. It's a foul here against Carlos Diaz. And let's see what card is displayed. Cabral Carter came out immediately to argue. And the question is going to be, was that the last man back? Is that an obvious denial of a goal scoring chance? So they do show the red card. After a quick chat, Carlos Diaz is shown red, and this has been the problem all year for LAFC. 6th red card of the season. No team in the league has more than 2. Other than LAFC. And they get the red card here on Carlos Diaz. And it's not just that. Look at the position that this is going to be in here for Tacoma.
The referee issued a red card to LAFC to player number 73.
Well, it's the first one given to Carlos Diaz this year. Sebastian Nava has 2. And now the changes are going to happen. It's going to be Jackson Corey coming in for Omar Hassan, who put in a really good shift here tonight. And Trevion Sousa is also coming out as Charlie Gaffney comes in. Well, looks like LAFC are going to make a change as well. DeCarlo Guerra is coming in, and Moyato is going to come out.
Replaced by number 46, De Carlo Guerra.
So let's see how this influences the rest of the night. Cabral Carter made a penalty save in the 12th minute. LAFC scored the opening 2 goals. 9th minute own goal, 16th minute Wibowo goal. And then Dodzi scored in the 23rd and 36th minutes. And that's where we sit right now. Tied at 2 apiece in the 8th meeting between Tacoma and LAFC 2. Peter Kingston likely will have his choices here. Sukanome is there as well. Kingston nearly scored earlier in this game on a free kick. Kingston bashes this ball. Carter again sprawls out and ladles it out. That is a dynamic stop from Cabral Carter. Junior Gonzalez said that he has a huge future with LAFC, and he's showing it tonight. Corner kick. Near post. Ruffles off of one man, and it rolls through. Sebastian Gomez finishes. Tacoma have scored 3 unanswered and lead 3-2. We'll double check to make sure that they will give it to Gomez. Couldn't tell if it hit somebody else or not after the Gomez connection. In the end, though, 3 straight for Tacoma, and the red card as well. Gomez scores after a hat trick last week, and Mike Morris told him that they had a conversation last week. He said, "Do you like coffee? And I'll buy you a coffee every time you score the rest of the season." And Gomez said, "I don't like coffee, but I do like matcha." And Mike Morris said, "All right, well, I'll buy you a matcha every time that you score a goal the rest of the year." He's got 3 last week, 1 this week. He's going to have matcha every day of the week. Nava fires it in. Moyato across. Playing with just 10. Moyato thought about powering that ball all the way through. Instead brought it down. Dodzi now chips it over, and the break is on. Numbers forward here. That's Corey. Corey in space, tries to get the angle. Unable to bend it across. Good defending there, and Nava sweeps it out.
There's a correction on a substitution made by LAFC 2 just prior to the vote. Player who left the pitch was number 56, Jude Terry.
And they do make a correction on that last change. It was actually Jude Terry that came out. Moyato is still on the pitch. Terry, team lead in 6 assists, is off the field. Evans lays it forward. Nava on the overlap. Bounces it across, and that is a very nice reaction by Castro to gobble it up. Well, Tacoma have found that confidence. A team with just 1 win in its last 11. Corey is wide open. He keeps his run onside. That first touch lets him down slightly. Brings it in now. Corey dodges, darts, crosses. And it's good defending there by Diaz. Seattle Sounders FC is proud to partner with Regions Blue Shield, a health plan powering Washington's health and wellness for more than 100 years. Corner kick. Taken short. Corey. Carly. Carly crushes. Dodsey. Fouls. You can tell his reaction. Didn't love the call. Gallatin Sandnes comes in, and Dodsey gets a well-deserved round of applause. A first-half brace in this one, doubling his season output in goals. And the 17-year-old from Seattle, Sandnes, comes in. A defensive change here in the 68th minute. The last time that Tacoma won was July 17th. That was in penalties. The last time they won in regulation was back on June 29th at LAFC with this very same scoreline, 3-2. Plenty of time left, however, in this one. And if you watch this league at all, you know that anything can happen in the final 20-plus minutes. Good drive here. Rolls it in. Lane brings it back. Tries to find Moyato. Good to have you with us. Michael Watring and our team here. Enjoying the match tonight. Hope you can join us to the finish line as Castro keeps it in play. The night got started well for LAFC. It was according to plan. And when these two teams last played, it was nearly an identical way that the game started, except for in reverse. Tacoma scored the opening 2 goals. Here's a full-out sprint. Numbers crash the box. Cutting back. Corey pops to the sky, and Carter watches it splash out. Snyder Brunel and Jackson Corey both scored in the final 5 minutes of the first half of the first meeting on June 29th. Then Mahalik and Lane equalized in 9-minute window in the 70 and 79th minute before it would be Danny Robles winning it in the 83rd, 3-2. Tonight it's 3 unanswered goals from Tacoma to take the advantage. A team that once upon a time stood in 3rd place in the West, trying to hold off this edge and pull within 3 points of a playoff spot. Lane lays it off. Walters charges. Walters passes to nobody, but a whiff on the clearance attempt. Lane measures. Lane lashes. Defenders block that chance. Christian Diaz, who's playing on a yellow card. Kingston plays Gomez, who has the difference-making goal in this match. After Carlos Diaz picked up the 6th red card of the season for LAFC in the 61st minute. 2 actions later, Tacoma took the advantage. And now look to see this one out in the final 20 minutes. Good passing. Both coaches were focused on these late moments. If they had the lead, how could they hold on to it? Because both have let leads slip out of their grasp so many times this year. Carly. Gaffney. Carly once more. LAFC playing with those 10, just not enough to shut down these alleys. Gaffney pops out. Former Penn Quaker lays it for Cody Baker, the 21-year-old. Good touches here, but Carly loses it. Nava, Carter Just had to get the ball out of there, and Baker steps up to take it right back. Inside of the 18, this ball rolls. It's Gaffney touching it across, and Moyano just does get a piece to keep it away from one of the league's best goal scorers in Sokonome. Moyano, great hustle on that sideline, just couldn't get there. Look at this cross. Look at where Moyano comes in from. He had a tough angle to get to that ball initially, but did enough to get it out. Peter Kingston gets his chance at another corner. And actually now he'll leave it for Edson Carley. Carley crosses, near post. Guerra clears. Corey. Kingston. And they go all the way around the wheel. Gomez. Corey. Corey crushes high. This portion of the match is brought to you by the Western Washington Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Leading the match, number 74, Edson Carley.
Edson Carley is coming out. And Danny Robles, who had the game winner in the last meeting, comes on in the 74th minute. Tacoma has the current longest drought of any team in the Western Conference. Between wins, as this ball's given away, Guerra unable to slalom past defenders. Corey hangs up onside. Corey with Gaffney in the middle. Corey waits, cuts it back. Sokonome, Corey in the end, it hits a defender. Corey gets back to it, tries to tuck it underneath the body of Carter, but he's there again to deny. Columbus Crew are the team with the longest drought in the East. It looked like they perhaps were going to get one back against the Revs earlier today. Couldn't quite do so. Robles' pass gets intercepted, and LAFC, since they picked up the red card in the 61st minute, have not been able to hold on to possession or attempt a shot in that stretch. Guerra is fouled. And it's going to be a card as well for Jackson Corey. He's going to be the first Defiance player booked tonight. Cabral Carter with more conversations for our center official.
The referee issued a yellow card. Defiance player number 48, Jackson Corey.
Tacoma have won 6 matches this year. 4 of those 6 have come by at least 2 goals. Will they be able to leave no doubt in this one? Or will they have to grind it down to the end? Walters chases. Yamada wins that race. Ponciano, who just hasn't had the same kind of impact as he did in the first half. It was his cross that was pushed into the net by Antino Lopez for an own goal in the 9th minute that got this thing started. 6 matches this weekend have gone to penalties. LAFC's early push has fizzled out here. They have some talented scorers on the bench. Walters unable to hold on to it, then Walters gets it back. Walters carves out space, but ultimately falls down. And doing just enough there was Kingston to get it out. Well, this match has been a prime example of what Junior Gonzalez said. I asked him about his season just from a general perspective. His first word that came out of his mouth was interesting. They started 7 teenagers tonight in this match. It's a team that on the season has given up the 4th most goals in the West with 41. They've scored at a nice rate, but not quite the elevated rate of a Tacoma Defiance team that came in with the 3rd most goals in the league. But said that there had been too many times this year where they had chances to add goals and just couldn't, or they had chances to put games away and weren't able to. That's the next phase of development for this team. Cross comes in over everybody, rolls towards the sideline, and a throw in here for Tacoma. Game management skills, sometimes the last thing to come for young players. Cabral Carter saved a penalty earlier in this match. Otherwise, this could be 4-2 Tacoma. The red card, without a doubt, will cast a shadow on LAFC's performance regardless of the outcome tonight. And Tacoma feeling good, looking to snap their winless drought. It's a good turn from Gaffney. Plays it up top. And ultimately given away as Sandus loses it. Here's Sokonome. Sokonome smashes. Carter pushes it out. Well, that's not the man that you want to see alone in the box, but that's the 2nd time that Carter has come up big against Sokonome. He saved one of his penalty kicks in the 12th minute. This time, he prevents him from getting a 13th, the man that's chasing the Golden Boot leader, Sam Sarver, who just signed a first-team deal with FC Dallas. Final 10 minutes of play in this one. 3-2 Tacoma. Across it goes from Baker, and it misses the foot of Eric Diaz and out for a goal kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by Umpqua Bank, the official banking partner of the Seattle Sounders. A foul. If you're just joining us, here's how we got to this point. 2 teams that need wins, that came in 12th in the Western Conference, tied in that spot. They came in 6 points out of the playoff race entering the evening. Tacoma, losers of 3 straight, just 1 win in their last 11 matches, fell behind an LAFC team that has won just 1 time on the road this season. Ponciano earned an own goal in the 9th minute. Then Wibowo scored in the 16th minute after Sokonome had a penalty kick saved a few moments prior. And then Tacoma began its comeback. Sousa to Dodzi in the 23rd minute, made it 2-1. And then it was a Kingston corner that found Dodzi again inside of the 6-yard box in the 36th minute to tie it at 2 apiece before halftime. In the 61st minute, Carlos Diaz was shown a straight red card, denying an obvious goal-scoring chance with Omar Hassan closing in on the top of the 18-yard box. After a free kick was saved by Carter, Gomez came in and finished the goal in the 64th minute. And that stands as the difference in the match with less than 10 minutes to play. And as it sits, Only Vancouver and Minnesota stand in front of Tacoma for the final playoff spot in the West with less than a couple months to go. Decision day, both teams will be at home. Tacoma will get Houston, while LAFC will get North Texas. This ball up and over the top. Well handled defensively. LAFC making its push now. Up and over the top, Walters waits for it. It's nodded to the ground by James Lane. Soganome. Tacoma finally gather the possession. Jacob Castro getting the start tonight. Shared duties with Mohamed Shore this season. Fine touches here. And the break on. Right into the path of Sandnes. Crosses it in, but over to step in front is Christian Diaz. A throw for Tacoma. About where Tacoma has come from. In their last 3 matches, they've twice lost 6-4. At Rapids and last week at home against Ventura County. Each team had a player score a hat trick in that game. There's never a dull moment when Tacoma takes the pitch. So often, you'll see a bunch of goals. Sokanome lays it forward. Here's those management moments for Tacoma right now. Leading by this goal. Alvarez back, Castro lifts it to the sky. Corey brings it in. Robles. Baker along the sideline. Gaffney chases. Gaffney is there first. Gaffney waits. It is Robles. Robles pummels off of one defender. Sent out. There's space here, but Yamada is going to win this race against James Lane, who commits the foul. It's been a good effort tonight from Kaito Yamada, the 18-year-old Japanese defender. 3 changes coming here for LAFC. Getting their finishing touches in here tonight. So the 3 changes are going to be Dempsey Rezic, Adrian Sanders, and Skylar Kaplan are the trio that come in. Walters, Eric Diaz are out. So they bring in some of these young guns trying to see this one all the way through. And LAFC hopeful that maybe that trio can make an impact here. Nava unable to work it around Gaffney, but it rolls out.
referee issued a yellow card to Tacoma Defiance player number 29, Jacob Castro.
This ball rolls back. Castro debates and now ultimately has to choose to hit it with James Lane getting close. Nava there first, flag up for offside. Will LAFC have a late stunner in this one, being down a man for the final half hour of this match? Trailing 3-2 after they led 2-0 in the first 16 minutes. Tacoma tries to get numbers forward. Gaffney waits. Gaffney with Kaplan nearby. Goes to the corner flag. Keeps it in play. Robles has. And lays it back. Gaffney again. Robles picks a pocket. Alvarez. Castro. All the way across the field. Brought in. Corey knocks it wide. Now chases after it. Jackson Corey with choices. Rolls it across. Gaffney is there. Charlie Gaffney scorches the strings and puts the finishing touches on a comeback win. 4 unanswered for Tacoma and 3 points staying home. Corey with a great pass, Gaffney with a great goal, and it's the first of his professional career for the Seattle native. Gaffney scored 3 times in 62 appearances at Penn in his collegiate career. And after spending time in both the Sounders and Timbers Academy prior to college, he gets his first pro goal. 2 second-half goals after the red card, and 4 minutes of second-half stoppage time, and Tacoma appear as if they're going to get just their second win in their last 12. They were 1-8-3 in their last 12 matches. But they'll get the 3 points here tonight.
The fourth official is signaled there will be given on the 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes.
Well, if you're LAFC, this is a tough one to swallow. After this, they travel to Real Monarchs a week from today. That'll be a 6:30 p.m. kickoff.
Previous to the goal, the 3 players for LAFC 2 coming onto the pitch for the substitution were number 65, Adrian Saunders, number 83, Skyler Kaplan, and number 41, Ethan
Charlie
Steele.
Gaffney is going to have to head to the sideline for a moment. Picked up that knock. And into stoppage time here in this second half. What looked like a promising start to the night, if you're LAFC, has turned into another frustrating performance on the road. This will be their 7th road loss of the season. They will fall now to 1-7-2 away from the friendly confines this year. Only Columbus has a worse mark on the road this season. Kaplan steals it away. Pushes it through the middle. Moyato right back for Kaplan. Kaplan off of the first man. Lays it back. Nava. And around the horn it goes. Sanders Kaplan. It's taken down. Kaplan committed to play at the University of San Diego. A foul. Robles is called for it. Quick restart. Rezic chases. That ball rolls out. Corner. Into stoppage time. Closing in on the end of this one. I don't know if there's enough time for LAFC, but if they can get a goal here, maybe there will be. Corner kick. Low liner in, right to Sebastian Gomez, who has the game winner as it stands right now. Nava blasts it over everything and out. And that likely will be the end of the night for LAFC. 4 unanswered goals for Tacoma Defiance will prove to be the difference maker in this match here tonight. Robles unable to track it down. Through the middle of the field. Men are there. Yamada. It's a tug of the jersey. And now just waiting for the final whistle in this one. There it is. Full-time whistle blows, and the 5-match drought is over. Tacoma win for the first time since they beat LAFC on June 29th. A 4-2 victory in this match tonight. Let's take a look at our man of the match here tonight. And it's a man that had just 1 goal entering the evening. It is Charles Doddsy. This ball of the field. Early in this game, Doddsy scores twice. Is Doddsy as he Washington Husky slingshots this ball to the front post. It takes a couple juggles. Doddsy is there. A first half brace for the Ghana native. Equalizes here in the 36th at 2 apiece. Charles Doddsy scores the brace here tonight, and he propels his team on the comeback trail after trailing 2-0 in this one. It's a 4-2 win for Tacoma Defiance. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Michael Watrang, where Tacoma wins it 4-2 to push themselves toward the playoff line. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Enjoy the rest of your night. 2 more matches tomorrow on MLS Next Pro. We'll talk to you again then. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.